Mr. Kante?
Have you received the signal? Pardon? Okay. If you confirm, you can get back to us. Okay. Yes. Okay. Munenga gain a device from the electricity. Yeah, he did that. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Suare, with regards to, because I can't get all the details right as expected, actually. So, but we only focus on the ruling which was made by the Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow. So we did not get the recommendations made by the court, but maybe after we would, maybe some of the recommendations would be published and it will be known to the public. But for now, we have not known any recommendation which has been made by the court or by the Honorable Chief Justice. All that we know is the Yellow Party has been fined for with the fine of $100,000, and their petition case at the Supreme Court, which happens to be the highest court in the Gambia, has been struck out for the fact that it did not meet some of the requirements of the petition and other arguments. So basically that was it. After several weeks of a hearing, after not meeting the deadline, which is 30 days, the hearing has ended, and this means the president will be sworn in on the 19th come January 2022. So that is what is all. That is what has all happened, and it has been a wonderful moment to be covering such a hearing, actually, because as you know, this was the second time, or this was the first time following the defeat of the former president, who happens to be Yahya Jammeh, in 2016. So I think this means a lot to our democracy as a country, because if the opposition party is able to take cases or to challenge the election results at the Supreme Court, I think it's a very good improvement for the country's democracy, which is growing at a very good speed with the election or the re-election of President Adama Barrow. Back to you, Mrs. Suare. I believe this should not take time, actually, because you have to understand that the case is of interest to the public, and wherever the public is involved, the court is also very careful with that. And anytime from now, who knows, it could be published for the public to know about it, because the case is of interest to the public, and it is their right to know what has transpired and to know what the recommendations of the court is. Because you have to understand that some of the recommendations can be used in the future. Let's say in the next 5 years, if elections are conducted again and similar things happen, such recommendations could be used to back any thing that pops up. So I think this may not take time, actually, because when the when the court hearing was in progress, the judge was mentioning about public interest. He was saying that the case is of interest to the public. So this is one thing the judge is very concerned about, that is the public interest. It's a pleasure, Mrs. Suarez. Hello, Mr. Kande. Okay. 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 Why not we record it here, because that may take a lot of time. So let us just do it here. We'll okay. Yeah. Yeah. So Mr. Manga, I might have piece to come, short piece to come, give it a summary of what has happened here. I didn't go use see the film, see news here. So later than I
let me go back. We change our position. You know?
I said, anywhere for you know.
But for me, what about inside the steps? Start on friend.
Following the announcements of results on December 5th by the Independent Electoral Commission, which happens to be the main election body in the country, which is responsible for conducting elections in the Gambia, these results has sparked a lot of reactions from the main opposition parties in accordance to Section 49 of the 1997 Constitution and Section 127 of the same Constitution. The Yellow Party, which happens to be the United Democratic Party and the main opposition party in the Gambia, filed a petition at the country's highest court, which happens to be the Supreme Court of the Gambia, for the court to render the December 4th presidential election results as invalid, citing corruption and inducement during the 2016 presidential campaign period. This trial has been of great interest to the public as it called for different ideas, actually. So the trial has... The trial took more than... The trial was supposed to last for 30 days. The trial was supposed to be a 30 days trial for the fact that after the 30 days, the president is supposed to be sworn in into the... Okay. The trial was supposed to be a 30 days trial for the fact that after 30 days... Okay. The trial was supposed to be a 30 days trial for the fact that after the 30 days, the president will be sworn in into office. But unfortunately, it did not meet the deadline of 30 days. It took less than 30 days and the trial came to an end. So the trial took 4 days, which happens to be... okay. The trial was supposed to be a 4 days... okay. The trial period was supposed to be a 30 days period, after which the president is supposed to be sworn in. But the trial period did not meet the deadline, which happens to be the 30 days. So at some point, the trial contained only 4 hearings. And today, which happens to be the 4th day, the Chief Justice Hassan B. Jallow gave his final verdict on the court case by ruling in favor. Today, which happens to be the 4th day, the trial period was supposed to take 30 days, and the trial period was supposed to take 30 days, after which the president will be sworn in. But unfortunately, after 4 days of appearing in court, today happens to be the 4th day, and the Chief Justice, who happens to be Hassan B. Jallow, has ruled in favor of the National People's Party, which happens to be the incumbent's party, Adama Barrow. And today, he has also fined the Yellow Party a fine of $100,000, which should be paid to the National People's Party. So this is what has transpired. It has been a long trial. It has been an interesting trial, and one could say it's a major development to the it's a major improvement to the democracy of the Gambia following the defeat of long-time ruler Yahya Jammeh in 2016. Osman Jatta, iAfrica News, Banjul Supreme Court. You jël ko wan sa after nañ ko jël. After nañ ko jël. The December 5th, 2021 presidential polls. The December 5th, 2021 presidential results announced by the Independent Electoral Commission, IEC, has sparked a lot of reactions from the main opposition party, which happens to be the Yellow Party. In line with the results, the Yellow Party, which happens to be UDP, filed a petition at the highest court of the Gambia, which happens to be the Supreme Court of the Gambia, for the court to render the election results, which were announced on December 5th. The court accepted their petition and began a trial on the 17th of December. The court accepted their petition and began trial on the 17th of December. The court should have taken a period of 30 days, after which the president, who happens to be the incumbent Adama Barrow, will be sworn into office. But unfortunately, we have seen that the court did not last for the required deadline. After 2 weeks of hearing, after more than 1 week of hearing, the court has ended with the Chief Justice being Hassan B. Jallow ruling in favor of the National People's Party, and equally as well finding the levying a fine of 100,000 on the main opposition party, which should be paid to the National People's Party. One could say part of the reasons why the High Court decided to rule in favor of the National People's Party is for the fact that the court has cited that the Yellow Party did not meet some of the requirements of the petition, which should be filed against any win. Okay. Man, I need to look once right. Why don't go dog because Luma Buga Favori, so the December 5th presidential results announced by the December 5th election results announced by the Independent Electoral Commission IEC has sparked a lot of reactions from the main opposition party, which happens to be the United Democratic Party of Ousainou Darboe. In line with the results, they filed a petition to the High Court of the The December 5th presidential results announced by the IEC has sparked a lot of reactions from the main opposition party, which happens to be the UDP party and the party of the Ousainou Abubakar Darboe. In line with the results and in line with Section 49 and Section 127 of the 1997 Constitution, the Yellow Party filed a petition at the highest court of the Gambia, which happens to be the Supreme Court of the Gambia, demanding from the court to render the election results as invalid and null and void for the fact that it did not meet the requirements of the Election Acts. It was in non-compliance with the Election Acts of the for the fact that it was not in line with the Election Act, or for the fact that it was in non-compliance with the Election Act, and equally as well, the Yellow Party cited election malpractices and irregularities which occurred during the 2021 presidential campaign. The trial period was supposed to take 30 days, and after 30 days, the president, who happens to be the incumbent Adama Barrow, will be sworn into office. But unfortunately, the trial period did not meet the deadline, which happens to be a 30 days period. The trial was the court hearing only saw 4 days, and the hearing only saw 4 appearances. The hearing only saw 4 court appearances, and in the third day, that was the hearing of the second motion, which was filed in by the NPP lawyers demanding for the highest court of the Gambia, which happens to be the Supreme Court, to the third day was supposed to be When the court started, the lawyers of the NPP party filed a motion to the justice. When the court started, the lawyers of the NPP party filed a motion to the court seeking for the dismissal of the petition filed in by the Yellow Party. This motion, which was filed by the NPP party, was accepted by the court, and it was set for hearing in last week's hearing, and it was a hearing that was very successful for the fact that all parties who were involved, the first respondent, which happens to be the NPP party, the third respondent and the second respondent, all took part in the hearing. And today, which happens to be the 4th day, was supposed to be a continuation of the hearing. But unfortunately, we saw a different tone from the highest court of the country, which happens to But unfortunately, we saw a different tone from the highest court of the country, which is the Supreme Court, declaring unfortunately, we saw a different tone from the highest court of the country, which happens to be the Supreme Court, delivering a ruling on the second motion. And the motion is in favor of the National People's Party, which happens to be the party of the incumbent, and equally as well, the highest court has also fined the Yellow Party, which happens to be the applicant with, and equally as well, the highest court have the highest court have fined the Yellow Party, and equally as well the highest court has fined and equally as well the highest court have put a fine of $100,000 against the Yellow Party, which should be paid to the National People's Party of the president. Among the reasons why the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the president's national PP. Among the reasons why the Supreme Court of the Gambia ruled in favor of the president's National People's Party is for the fact that the court cited that the Yellow Party did not meet some of the requirements of the election petition, which has to do with submitting a notion of a presentation to all parties, and this was one reason why the court ruled in favor of the President's National People's Party, among other reasons. Osman Jatta, iAfrica News. Osman Jatta, iAfrica News.